Hello everybody and welcome back to another mini segment of Mindful Money with Max. Today we're going to be talking about why many of you may not be able to buy as much as you once did at the grocery store. We're also going to be talking about why a lot of young people may not be able to afford homes like their grandparents did. If you guessed that we're going to be talking about the global wealth gap, then you would be correct. If you've ever looked at your bank account and quietly wondered to yourself, what am I doing wrong? Then maybe this video is for you. Because the truth is, this isn't just about hard work. Something structural has changed in our financial system, and it's been changing for many decades. In 1972, something very big happened. The United States went fully off of the gold standard, breaking the last link between money and anything finite or based in physical reality. Before that point, money was tied, at least loosely, to gold. Gold being something that's scarce, something that can't be printed more of easily. Something that can't be just created at will. But once that link was broken, the United States dollar, which is also the world's reserve currency, became entirely fiat, meaning it was backed only by trust, policy, government decree, and yes, an army. From that point forward, wealth became exponentially more abstract. And when wealth becomes abstract, it is much easier to extract from the people that don't understand that system to the people that do. Let me say that one more time. When wealth becomes abstract, it becomes easier to extract from the people that do not understand that system to the people that do. So let's break it down and get to the core of this issue. We live in a finite world. The number of homes is relatively finite, land is finite, oil, food, metals, energy, human labor, all finite. Yes, we can make more of them, but only at a certain rate. But once money is no longer finite, once it can be printed at will by a small number of decision makers, you now have something infinite, the money supply, competing against something scarce. Then it means that the money is no longer based in reality. And when infinite money chases finite resources, prices rise. We see inflation, we see asset growth. And it's not necessarily that the assets are becoming more valuable, it's that the measuring stick we're using to value them is changing. And your money no longer reflects reality, it reflects policy. It reflects people's decisions and opinions. When more dollars are created, those dollars flow somewhere first. And typically they flow into financial assets, stocks, bonds, real estate. This means that people who already own assets benefit first and benefit more substantially. And people who primarily earn wages, they feel like they're running on a treadmill. People that are just your average run-of-the-mill workers that don't own a ton of assets. They're working hard, they're doing everything right, but groceries cost more, homes cost more, rent costs more, healthcare costs more. And their paycheck, it just doesn't stretch like it used to. A few generations ago, your lifestyle was largely determined by your income. But today, I would argue that your lifestyle is increasingly determined by what you own, the assets that you own, stocks, real estate, things like that. For example, if you owned real estate in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, you likely saw a massive appreciation on your land and your properties. If you owned stocks over the last few decades, you likely benefited tremendously from monetary expansion. But if you were young and you didn't own any assets yet, you were just earning wages, maybe you even went to college and you had a high-paying career. You were still trying to catch up to a moving target. You're still trying to catch up to this monetary expansion. You're still trying to catch up to these people that own a substantially larger portion of the assets. And that's not a personal failure, it's a structural shift that explains this expansion in the wealth gap. And it also helps explain why a single income household in the 1950s could afford a home that cost 2 or 3 times annual income, while today it might cost 8 or 10 times annual income in many areas across the United States. The measuring stick has changed. The system has changed. If you're enjoying these topics, please like and subscribe. I'll be coming out with more information like this. I'm actually writing a book right now called Big Wealth, Big Gap, covering a lot of these topics, so stay tuned for that. But let's jump into how the wealth gap actually works. Because when money becomes more abstract, when it can expand rapidly, when it can flow first into the financial markets, that means those closest to the asset markets benefit first. those closest to the money printer benefit first. Those further away from the money printer, people earning wages, your average people, they benefit last. Over time, that compounds. The people holding all the assets accumulate more wealth. Your billionaires, your decabillionaires, your centibillionaires, while wage earners struggle to accumulate any assets at all, meaning the gap is going to continue to widen. And the gap is widening not because people suddenly became lazier, not because young generations stopped working hard, they do, but because the entire game has shifted underneath them. Now, this video is about hope and understanding. I know it can seem like kind of a daunting topic, but I do think there is light at the end of the tunnel. And my message to everybody out there is that if we can collectively understand more about this topic, we can create a better world. We can create a world where wealth follows contribution and not just ownership. When there's infinite currency in a finite world, distorting prices, ownership matters more than ever. And when we gain this understanding, we help people to stop blaming themselves for the wealth gap, instead of feeling like they just didn't work hard enough. Because the wealth gap didn't just appear out of nowhere. It's followed a major monetary shift over the last few generations. And the more that we can collectively understand how money works, how it's created, how it flows, who benefits from those flows, the more we can be empowered to navigate the future wisely as a human society. If this video resonated with you and you'd like to hear more about it, let me know in the comments. This is a topic that's very near and dear to my heart. Look out for my book, Big Wealth, Big Gap. And my question to you today is, does it feel like it's harder to build wealth today than it was for your grandparents? If you liked this video and found it valuable, please subscribe for more conversations so other people can learn about it as well. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next time on Mindful Money with Max.
Yeah. We're about to change the world of money, watch the flow. New economy beats that echo, timeless rhythm. You're writing about to change the world of money, watch the flow.